All right, welcome everyone to our July 2025 Nation Call. First, thank you all so much for all of the birthday wishes. I definitely appreciate that so much. And something else that's kind of exciting. This month is going to be my 9-year Arbonne anniversary. So 9 years ago, on July 21st, I signed up to be an independent consultant, terrified that I wasn't even going to make my sign up fee back, and look at Strong Nation now. So super, super fun. This is just a fun month for us and our family. But you guys, June was incredible. I know all of us that were in Vegas, we're still kind of coming off that GTC high, that Vegas high, like already thinking about 2026. Tara, I want you to do me a favor. And if you will, type in the chat the thing that I told you last year. If you do every week for 52 weeks, what you'll have, and talk about how it was that you did that. So she's going to share just this GTC hack that is super, super smart. But I want to get going because June was incredible, like absolutely incredible. GTC month is always so much fun. But you guys, the reason that GTC is fun is not because we're in Vegas and there's lights and there's training and we're together. That is part of it, right? But it's because it gives people a reason to reach out, a reason to get into activity. And when people start getting into the activity because they're looking left and looking right, everybody's in activity. So it's like more motivating and encouraging to do it. Momentum starts to build in your business, and you guys, momentum equals results, right? And we had some results in Strong Nation. So I want to congratulate Maria Lubambo and Tracy Ashcraft and Jenny Snyder, all for being an area qual and qual for area manager. So huge achievement there. And I want to give a special congratulations to Saskia for finishing area. And so congratulations to you, Sas. And then another really, really big deal. I know she's watching the recording, but Jamie Gegg went halfway to region qual. Big freaking deal. Laura Allen is a new district manager. So congratulations to her. And then you guys, this is huge, like drum roll. Trisha Malik went halfway to nation qual. And so congratulations to Team Malik. So a lot of momentum, a lot of things happening in our business. And you guys, June was nothing different, right? Like, of course, we had great products. We had a reason to reach out. But something that I always say is we don't need new products to reach out, because 99.9% of people, they have no idea what all's on our website. And if we got like, oh my gosh, pomegranate fizz, I always use this example because when's the last time we got hyped about pomegranate fizz? We haven't, because it's a staple, right? It's been on our website. It's been since every single one of you have joined the business. That was like our first fizz flavor. But if we created excitement and momentum about pomegranate fizz, people would be like, I've never tried that. I never even heard of that flavor. Let me get on it, the same way that we did blueberry lemon, which I know is a sore, sensitive topic, but she gone, y'all, she gone. And so if you did not get any, listen, phone a friend, because I'm not sharing any. Okay. I love you so much, but I just can't. It's so good. My nieces and nephews are here, and they're like, they each drink like 12 fizz a day. It's fine. It's not soda. It's fine. But I'm like, okay, I'm rationing this one. Like you cannot, you will not, like y'all like 7 people can split 1 pack. That's just the rule in the house. Like figure it out, paper, rock, scissors, beat each other up. I don't know, but you can't do that. So I had to hide it. But great momentum, great promotion. So freaking proud of everybody that promoted, that went into qual, that hit new milestones. That's always so exciting. And then for enrollment, we had top 3 enrollment. Okay, so we had a 2-way tie for number 3. So tied for number 3 was Trisha and Christy. We had a 3-way tie for number 2. So Tracy Ashcraft, me, and Carly. Is it your or your
It's
or
your,
your
yes.
okay, your 3-way tie between us. And then first place blew us out of the water was Tracy Twitchell. So congratulations to Tracy for hitting first place. I love sometimes seeing like a new name, on the leaderboard, or a new name for first place, because it gets all of us super excited. And then you guys know on close day, I put out this enrollment challenge, and I said for every new 150 QV sign up, you're gonna be put into this drawing. And so I want to congratulate Carly Orr. So, Carly, you are going to win a limited edition fizz flavor, and we can decide which one. An Arbonne belt bag, an Arbonne tumbler, another surprise gift, and $100 gift card to anywhere that you want. So, hit me up after this, and we'll get you all of your goodies. So,
Thank
big
you.
things happening. You're so welcome, honey. Congrats. And then for bonuses, so I hit district and area. Trisha, Saskia, Tracy Twitchell, Tracy Ashcraft, and Carly all hit their DM achiever, and then Jamie Gegg hit AM achiever. And so you guys remember at GTC, they rolled out that bonus that if you hit your paid as title in June, July, and August, Arbonne's going to give you an extra $300 bonus. And so a lot of those folks are on track for that $300 bonus. And then for bricks, we had Christy, Trisha, Saskia, Tracy Ashcraft, Dawn Kozinski, Jamie Gegg, Carly, and Tracy Twitchell all hit their bricks as well. So gifts are coming to y'all for that. A lot of things going on. I'm like, this is a lot of this. I'm like talking, okay. And then, okay, for incentives this month, obviously power to DM, you guys. This is always great because not only has Arbonne given us the reduced quals for this year, and so, you know, it's 4,800 in a month or 4,800 in 2 months, but this now it's even lower. It's only 3,500 in a month. And so there's so many of y'all that are on here on our teams that are already in strong qual, and they may not even know it. And so you guys as leaders, if you have any other consultants, and if you don't know how to do it, reach up, ask your AM, ask your VP, ask me, ask who, post it on the team page. Somebody will help you. But hey, how do I know who's in qual? So 800 CQV or 2,500 SLQV is in qual for district manager. With this power to district manager, 1,000 has to be CQV, so that's your client sales, right? What you sell to a client. And then the other 2,500 can be your success line QV. So that's anything that you're personally buying, anything that any consultant on your team sells, or anything that they buy as well. So this is an incredible way to go ahead and jumpstart a promotion and a pay raise. We also have a flash sale that's going on until 6 a.m. on July 12th. There's about 58 products that have an extra 20% off. So take a look through that. If that's something you need, I would recommend you stock up. I'm not saying that I know anything at all, but a lot of times when Arbonne will do this flash sale, some of that stuff could be going away. And so if there's something that you love, don't let it be a blueberry lemon fizz situation, you know, where you're sitting there heartbroken looking at people's pictures of it. Okay. And then our HerCore bundles, we've got 3 different bundles that are an extra 10% off. Free enrollment with 300 QV, and then free gifts for all PCs with 150 QV order. So that's kind of all of the housekeeping. Okay, that was a lot. So I want to jump right into the training because I'm having, I don't even want to jinx myself, but I'm in conversation with someone very close and special to me, and I'm wanting them to move to Oklahoma. Shocker, right? Selfish. You know how you do that, right? You kind of get settled into a place, and then you're like, now I need to recruit all of my best friends all here. And so we're talking, and one of the things, you know, that she said is, I've lived in the same place my whole life. I've never left. I've never went anywhere else. Now, all of us Air Force people were like, what? You know, but for a lot of people, this is super normal. You know, I'm from small town Alabama. This is very normal in my hometown. And so you just never leave. Kids go to the same school from kindergarten to 12th. They have the same friends, the same, you know, 4 families own the whole town. And unless you're born into one of those rich families, you don't get to own anything. You know, you work at a plant or a mill, and you kind of just go through life, rinse and repeat. And it's comfortable, but it's not exciting, but it is safe. But there's nothing new that comes from it, right? And so one of the things, you know, as we were talking and kind of peeling back some of these layers, I said, you know, what do you think it actually is? And she said, you know, it's fear. It's just the fear of the unknown. It's the fear of the what ifs. It's the fear of, you know, what if I make this big choice and I do it and it's not what I thought it would be, you know, and now I've kind of disrupted my comfort and all that. All of us, I think, can empathize with that, right? Like we've all been in that place. It's like, sometimes good enough is just like good enough. Do I just leave it alone? Is this a sign? Like, don't ruffle anything. But it was so interesting because after we had that conversation, obviously I'm a believer, so I'm praying about it, and I'm, you know, reading my devotional, and one of the things was about fear. And I want to share this part with you because, it said most people live their entire life stuck in a cycle of fear, whether you're conscious of it or you're just robot mode because the fear has beat you down so much that you just go through motions. Doubt or fear will create that doubt, right? And doubt creates inaction. And then inaction creates more fear. And so it's that cycle that just repeats itself, right? It's like, what's the gosh, I can't remember the movie. Y'all are gonna laugh at me. You know the movie like $1 million. What is that? Help me, somebody, don't leave me hanging on this. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But where it's like, I eat because I'm fat, I'm fat because I eat, or like whatever. He talks about like this cycle of I'm depressed because I'm fat because I eat because I'm depressed. Austin Powers, thank you, Rebecca. This is that cycle of fear too. I always think of that scene in the movie. It's this cycle that it just keeps repeating. But and this is an if, because it's up to you, right? If you want to avoid falling into that same cycle, what if you started seeing fear as a signal instead of something to run from as safety? And just stay with me for a minute on this because I'm going to come full circle, I promise. But if we started seeing fear as a signal and thinking, boom, that feeling, that emotion, that withdrawal, that's telling me what I need to do. That's my body communicating with me and telling me something that I need to do. So, whatever it is that scares us the most, that's probably what we need to confront. And the only way that we eliminate that fear is to act in spite of it, right? If you think of my Roe, my husband Roe took my nephews and my niece to this big like amusement park thing that's here, right? And there's this one ride that's like, it's basically like a complete vertical drop, like for way too long. And my niece is 10 years old. And at first she was like, no, like it's a no for me. She saw it and she was like, no. Well, of course her brothers did it. And then her brothers got off of it and they were like, that was awesome, And so then she's sitting there and she kind of keeps looking back over at it. And Rose like, do you want to go get back in line? She's like, no, 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 I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And her brothers were like, you should do it. It was so fun. We were scared too, but then we did it. And it looks way worse than it even is. And you can't even hardly feel it. You just get that cool belly flip and just kind of looking back and looking back. Well, then they were about to leave. And so Rose like, all right, we've rode everything. Let's go home. And she's like, Uncle Roe, I think I'm ready, And so they go and he's like, oh, I can't tell a girl no. He was ready to go. He was done, but he's like, let me go get back in this line because this was a big moment for her. She confronted a fear. And when she got on it, you know how this goes. She did it. She's like, I want to do it again. I want to do it again. It's like, how many times do we have that if you've ever done a bungee jump or an amusement ride or something like that, where you're just like, oh gosh, I'm so nervous. And then afterwards, you feel that freedom, you feel that fear just kind of leave your body, and you're like, I did it. And then when you have another friend that's afraid to do it, you go, oh girl, you should just do it. It's not even that bad, right? You're a big talker because you have accomplished it. You've achieved it. And so that's the way that we eliminate fear, is to act in spite of it. And you guys, action is the antidote. It's not staying still. It's action is the antidote. The more you act, the less you doubt. The less you doubt, the less you fear. The less you fear, the more you act, right? So we can reverse that hamster wheel to benefit us. And so instead of us running from fear or trying to avoid it, what if we start to use it? And what if we say, oh, I feel fear. Boom, signal. I'm letting that tell me exactly what I need to do, and then we do it. We just do it immediately, right? It's like the Mel Robbins 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 blast off. Like, you just do it. Don't give your brain more than 5 seconds to talk you out of it, because your brain will. It's your brain's job to keep you safe. But the things that we say in our mind is so big and scary. You guys, the way that we walk around in fear in today's world, you would literally think that we're cave women being chased by freaking rabid lions. It's like we're making, such a big deal out of some things that we know that they're holding us back. We know they're holding us hostage. And for those that are a Bible reader, and even if you're not, you guys, this is just strong. 2 Timothy 1:7 says that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And so whether you're a believer or not, you know that fear did not come from anything good, right? Like no matter what it is that you believe in, it's not a good creation. That came from nothing good. There's nothing good about being consumed by fear. And we know that fear is learned from the enemy. Like, do you know it's scientifically proven that the only two things a newborn is afraid of is the fear of falling, like literally falling off of a bed, that fall reflex that we still to this day have. You're having a dream that you're falling off the bed, you jump. And then the fear of loud noises. That's it. Every other fear we ever have in life, it's learned. It's a learned behavior. We've learned it from a story we've told ourselves. We've learned it from a story we've allowed somebody else to tell us, or we've learned from a fear that we've just inherited from somebody else's results or action or inaction. And you guys, if the enemy cannot take us out, he'll make us afraid enough to just stay put. And complacency is just as bad as being wiped out. It's just the same. It's going to get you the same results. And so our emotions, you guys, they're going to come, but that doesn't mean that they get to be in the driver's seat. You know, I love the song Fear is a Liar, but I also love the idea that fear is a real emotion. Like I feel fear, even if it is a liar, I still feel that feeling. And so I can acknowledge that and I can say, okay, I feel you. I know that you are a real feeling, but you do not get to be in my driver's seat. You do not get to dictate my life. You do not get to lead me, right? We get to decide how much fuel we're going to give these emotions, every emotion. You can put this with any emotion that you have, but we're either going to be feeding our calling or we're going to be feeding our comfort. And you guys, it's like, you know, which lion wins, the story of which lion wins, the one that you feed the most, right? You feed fear, it's going to grow. If I feed comparison, it's going to grow. If I feed my habit to procrastinate, it's going to grow. If I feed negative self talk, it's going to grow. But also, I know if I feed my faith, it's going to grow. I know that if I feed my vision, it's going to grow. If I feed my activity, it's going to grow. If I feed my positive thinking, it's going to grow. If I feed not comparing myself to other people or being jealous, but going, man, if Trisha can do that, I can too. She's proof that I can too, right? If Melissa can do that, I know that there's a place for me there, right? I can use that as fuel to be good. And you guys, even bigger than that, I want you to think, am I feeding the mission for my life, the mission for my family, the mission, like the mission for my future? Or am I just feeding this moment that I don't like the way this feels? Which one's going to be bigger? Because it's those everyday, small, seemingly little actions that we take or don't take that we're going to grow because we're feeding it. We're feeding it. We're feeding it. Everything that we do and everything that we don't do is going to duplicate. And so you think about what if what if I recruited 100 people to my team today? Every one of them said, I'm ready to be a consultant. I'm ready to do this business. But y'all, we didn't have a getting started checklist. We didn't have any step-by-step guides. The only way that they would be able to learn the business is to watch you for 24 hours in a day. What would they learn? What would they do? Right? What kind of activity would they be in? What kind of self-talk would they be in? Would they go, oh, okay, well, I just don't start my business today, or I don't believe in this today? Like, think about all of that, right? Are we just feeding this moment that we just don't like the way that it feels because it's a little bit uncomfortable? And so you see how fast, right, this cycle can start to rob you. And so again, guys, like our feelings are not our leader. Our feelings are not our leader. Our feelings can be real without leading our life. And there's a quote that says, no one would have crossed the ocean if he could have gotten off the ship in the storm. No one would have crossed the ocean if he couldn't have gotten off the ship in a storm. And so just think about what's on the other side of your fear. Like, think about that for you, for your family, for your future. And are you going to be the roadblock that stops that generational growth, that generational wealth, that generational legacy, that future thing? There was a, goodness, what was it? Let me see if I still have it. Y'all might have seen it if you saw on my Instagram. If your kid ate like you, talked about themselves like you talk about yourself, if they committed to or quit things like you, if they cared for themselves like you care for you, would you be proud of who they've become or would they need to recover from your example? Whoo! that one will hit you hard, right? If that one don't make you kind of, pucker your butt a little bit and go, whoa, I got to do a little bit better. I want to be a little bit bolder and bigger and stronger and show up differently in the world because I have little eyes watching me. And even if you don't, there's somebody that is. And so I love that quote, but you guys, it's also the length of your fear establishes the limits of your freedom. Do you hear me on that? The length of your fear is going to establish the limits of your freedom. And so, what you fear most shows where you trust God the least. Fear is a wonderful reminder that we're actually designed for faith. And you guys, this business requires, demands, expects faith. It requires you doing the work to the best of your ability and being all in with a clear mind, 100%, going all in before you even may see a return. Like, that's entrepreneurship. But you guys, that doesn't mean that entrepreneurship or the future is something to be feared. I look at it as like that's an invitation for something bigger and better to be created. It does, like, of course it's not going to be easy, right? Everybody would be doing it. But when we let fear dictate, we're actually creating the future that we do fear. Does that make sense? Like, when we're ruled by fear, we make our decisions by fear. All we're doing is creating that exact future that in our mind we think that we're trying to avoid because we're not breaking any cycle. We're staying small. We're staying safe. You guys, we don't earn what we're disciplined for. We earn what we are disciplined for, not just what we desire, what we dream about. And you guys, definitely not what we dodge out of just trying to stay small. Let me just kind of be meek and mild, be behind the scenes. I don't want to, be too bold or be too loud or go all in or give it my best. I don't want to do all of that because what if, right? What if I fail? What if I fail? If we can have the mindset of what if I fail, we can also have the mindset of what if I fly. Like, it just can. If you can think one, you can think the other. All of us learned opposites when we were in elementary school. We know big and little, right? We know black and white. We know old and young. We know all of the opposites. And so, what if I fail? What if I succeed? What if I succeed bigger than I ever could have possibly imagined? And basically, this is a one of those those one liners that kind of hit you in your chest and you go ooh, and you kind of like swallow acid a little bit and you don't really like the way that it tastes in your throat. A couple of weeks ago, I had we get to have some time with Cecilia here in Oklahoma, and we were in her living room, and we were kind of just a bunch of MVPs having a strategy meeting. And those that have been in Cecilia's living room or at her feet, they know if you ask, she will tell you, and it might not always come pretty in a box and kind words. She will be very direct and cutthroat with you. And one of the other people there was having some conversations about her business and her team, and she was saying, well, like, I want to do this for my team, but I worry about blank. And after about 10 sentences like that, she said, why do you think that you can ask God to bless a business that you run out of fear? And I was like, all right, well, no questions left for me. Like, I pretty much got all the training I did. You can't ask God to bless a business that you run out of fear, because fear is not from him. Fear is not from him. Fear is not from him. And you guys, I'm gonna close with this because and I'd love if someone could type this as I speak it, or I can post it in the comments afterwards. But I want to close with this because this is pretty powerful, you guys. Fear kills action. Hurry kills presence. Worry kills peace. Doubt kills faith. And ego kills love. Now, I'm going to put this in the chat right here. And I want you to now read that backwards. Love kills ego. Faith kills doubt. Peace kills worry. Presence kills hurry. You guys, action kills fear. And so, how powerful is that? So, I want to tell you guys, if you have been looking for a sign to just rip the band-aid off and go bigger than you ever have already, give this business more faith than you have been. Give this business more attention, more love, more action, more presence. Give this business more peace, more faith, more presence. This is your sign. If you've been looking for a sign, here it is. Like, I don't know if you're one of those people that needs the billboard to just like hit you in the forehead a couple of times, but pretend like I'm virtually doing that. You guys, it's here. And I believe in you so much that we have to have those tough conversations, right? It's in love. And so I'm ripping the band-aid off of you. I'm hitting you in the forehead with the billboard. They're love licks because I believe so much in you. And I know that every one of us has areas in our life that we're playing too small and we're letting fear hold us back. And you guys, I guarantee that if those were our babies or if those were someone that we loved and just the person, our favorite human on the planet, if we looked them in their eyes and told them to live their life the same exact way that we're living ours, we know that we'd be playing them a little too small. We'd be playing them too small. I see some of y'all's babies on the screen, right? You would never turn around and look at your kiddos and say, just be mediocre, meek at best, be mild, blend in, don't be too loud, just do the bare minimum and just get by okay life. Because we were not meant for that. And we know that we weren't meant for that. And so let's go knock the rest of July out of the park. And you guys, I don't care if it's numbers. I don't care if it's your pay. I don't care if it's your title. I don't care if it has anything to do with this business. I want you to do something that you've been afraid of, something that you've been holding back, something that you've been procrastinating because you've let fear have a stronghold. This is your invitation to release it and let it go and say, fear, you might exist, you might be real, but no longer can you be in the driver's seat. I love you guys so much. Let's have an incredibly blessed July, and I'll see you guys soon.